Happy Saturday! Today is May 28th, 2022, and it's been 1 week since the last garden tour. So let's take a look and see what's happened because I've done a lot of work this week. All right, so here's the garden. Again, we got beds 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 4.5, 5, and 6. I have gotten, since the last video, I've put in some more mulch. The onions are growing up really big. I've planted tomatoes along bed 2 and bed 3 on both sides of 3. And I've got some peppers put in as well. I also got beds 5 and 6 almost all the way done except for the tomatoes that are going to go in 5. So let's go down and take a look at each of the beds. Oh, in the garden you'll also notice I got these poles sticking up everywhere. So I use 1x2 furring strips. In this bed I'll be trellising or staking and tying the plant to the furring strip. In other beds I'll be doing the Florida weave method where I have a couple stakes in a straight line and I have string that I'll be weaving through the tomatoes. So we're going to try a little bit of the Florida weave method this year, just to kind of see how it works and if we like it. So not much difference in bed 1 here. Still just got the calendula over here. I did plant some zinnias in the corner. Those are both giant double and cactus chrysanthemums. I mixed a whole bunch of them up, so I don't know exactly what's what, but we'll know kind of when it blooms what it is. So we got some zinnias over there in the corner. The okra has not gotten much bigger. It's been really cool this week because we've had storms coming through. So there hasn't been much there. Got the stakes put in today. The onions are looking big, like super big. Oh, got a little tiny grasshopper. So cute. But yeah, the onions have probably 3, 4, 5 stems each. So it'll be a while before those are ready. The bucket with the sunflowers, I actually harvested some of those sunflowers out of there and transplanted. So some of those got transplanted today too, and I'll show you those. Here is bed 2. So I got 4 tomato plants in here and a couple little basils that you can see. These tomatoes are Paul Robeson. So there is a local farmer and his wife. They run a family farm and they grow all heirloom tomatoes. So they are growing some Paul Robesons, and I picked those up because mine didn't germinate. But now, whatever these produce, I'll be able to save seeds and be able to grow them going forward. I did also plant a couple peppers in here. So that one and this one, these are my Head Start peppers. These are both red bell peppers. I gotta get some diatomaceous earth on there because some ants are liking those. But I like to grow those, I don't know, they're about 8 inches away from, 10 inches away from the tomato plants. And then we got some Genovese basil growing. It's really cute. Over on the other side of the bed, you can see the row of radishes and then the radishes that are going in between the different cucumbers. We got some zinnias over here, and the cucumbers are starting to get their true leaves. These are the Armenians. And then over there we got the Market Moors. So they're all getting their true leaves and the radishes are starting to come in, so hopefully those will prevent some pests from coming at them, knock on wood. In this bed, not much has changed. I did plant some basil in here. And I planted another zinnia over there, so some zinnias all got planted. They were getting big. Now this bed, I think, is pretty much packed full of stuff. So these tomatoes along here, we're going to weave string between the tomatoes and to the furring strips for the Florida Weave method. These tomatoes are pink Brandywines. So these ones are all pink Brandywines. Same farmer that gave me those ones. And the ones over here, there's 4 tomato plants over there. And those are all black cherry tomatoes. So I am looking forward to all 3 of those varieties. I don't currently have seeds for any of those. So this will be new varieties for me. But I've heard great things about all 3. Brandywines are usually a staple around here because they do well with humidity. And then the black cherry tomatoes have a good smoky flavor. So looking forward to that. We love cherry tomatoes. So yeah. Little carrots are looking good. You can start seeing their true leaves. Looking very cool. The onions are starting to get a little bit thick on the stems. Okay, I'll pan over here. This bed has nothing going for it right now. I planted some zinnias and a couple sunflowers. 4 zinnias, 2 on either side, and then 1 sunflower. And this bed is just all tomatoes and some peppers, and I'm just waiting for everything to get bigger so that I can plant it out. But I will be throwing some mulch on this tomorrow morning. I'm going to water everything and throw some mulch on it so that everything's covered and it can kind of keep that soil, keep it really moist. You can see over here I do have some pine shavings down here. So these ones were already here. I have some sunflowers that are growing there. That was my first batch of sunflowers, and they're getting pretty tall. Those are about, I'd say 2.5 feet tall. And I recently planted 1, 2, 3, and 4 sunflowers along here. And those will grow up and they will actually provide shade for the propane tank. In addition to just being beautiful. So we're going to just have lots of sunflowers there and here. It'll be nice. So this bed, not much updating there. This bed, this one is bed 4.5. So this is the one that has lettuce in those 2 sections, and then radishes in those 2 sections, and then okra in all the corners and in the center. I recently planted basil there. We got nasturtiums going there. We got basil here, calendula there and there, and nasturtium. So this bed is done, just kind of doing its thing now. The okra is getting bigger. I'm very excited about that. In this bed, this is my pepper bed. So I got 3 head starts to spicy peppers. I got a jalapeno and I got 2 poblanos. So those are just kind of getting started. And I got some basil growing here. I will be planting some marigolds in here as well. They are currently hardening off so that we can get them planted. But we're going to have a total of 8 pepper plants in here and ground cherries in the corners. But right now they're like this big, so can't really do anything about that. In these containers, really not much has changed except some of the peppers have died off. So it's pretty sad. These 3 blue buckets were over with the other blue buckets. I had planted potatoes in here, and because we had so much rain, they actually rotted. So I had to remove them, and now this gives me a chance to plant something else. So I might just plant some extra tomato plants in there, or just hang on to those buckets until July when I can plant some fresh ones, some fresh potatoes. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Over here in the strawberry bed, we added some mulch to the strawberries. They were looking a bit weak. And I think it's because the splash up from all the rain was getting onto the leaves, and it's just, they weren't happy. So we added some mulch. They perked right up. They're doing amazing. The lettuce is all doing really good. Everything's just all around happier. Nora made these little pillow things out of rubber bands for, or like rainbow loom bands for the strawberries to sit on so they wouldn't be sitting on organic matter and rotting. It was a really good idea. So we got some, you can see some flowers. So hopefully that means we'll have more strawberries soon. We've been filling up a Ziploc bag and throwing them in a freezer. And we're going to use all the strawberries to have some smoothies. This lettuce is doing really good. When enough of it gets big enough, we will we'll come out here and pluck a dinner's worth of salad. I think we got another week left before we can do that though. Unless Mom wants a salad, then I can just go ahead and come out and pluck some and have my own personal salad. We'll see. Panning back this way. The strawberry patch, the wild strawberry patch is just getting massive. It's pretty big. I might need to rein that in a little bit, cut some of the runners because this thing is pretty big. The sweet potatoes are doing real good. Yeah, sweet potatoes are looking good. Peas are looking good. Got my pea towers. There's one that's almost all the way to the top. Oh, by the way, these little bees. We got these little bees that stick on, well, we bought little hooks for the siding of our house. But we got these little bees from LTD. They were super cheap and they're adorable. I love them. So we got peas. I've been seeing some ladybugs. You can see there's a ladybug. These things have been overrun with aphids. Just this one. Like, it's been crazy how many aphids are in there. But I see a little ladybug in there. And ladybugs eat aphids. So hopefully it calls its friends and they have a hangout session here and eat all the aphids. That'd be good. Bed 5. So you can see the sunflower's getting pretty tall. It's looking really cool. They're both looking really good, looking strong. We got some onions. I got an eggplant in. So that is actually like a double eggplant. It's from one seed, but it was a Head Start that I bought. And I got a nasturtium right next to it. I got some zinnias. That is a squash that I moved because I had extras. So we got another, I believe that one is an early straight neck, like yellow squash. We got radishes all along here, another nasturtium. And then along here will be 4 tomato plants that I will interweave between these 2 furring strips. The Haojin melons are getting their true leaves. I did separate these. So we had 2 in each place and I separated them a little bit to give them more space. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 melon plants there. And then in between, you see these little tiny sprouts. Those are all basil. So we got lots of basil going. Lots of melons, lots of radishes. Radishes are supposed to be a deterrent for squash vine borers. So hopefully those help with keeping those away from the melons and the zucchini. In the end of the bed here, we have a sunflower. It's hanging on there. I don't feel like it's doing too great, but it's hanging on. And then we got the 2 little midget melons there. But they are looking good. They're getting their true leaves. And soon they will be able to climb up the trellis. That is something that you previously was not up. So I got this trellis standing up. I dug it so that it was mostly straight. It's still a little crooked, but yeah, it's set in the ground pretty good because we do get high winds here. So we got 2 midget melons there, and then I separated the ones over here, so we have 1, 2, 3 midget melons over here, and those will all climb this trellis. Along the corner we have radishes, which those are looking lovely, and we got a zinnia in the very corner. And then the zucchini and yellow crookneck squash are doing really good. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 5 in this bed. And then we have the 1 yellow squash that's in bed number 5. So we have 6 squash plants. In this bed, I have, it's probably not the wisest. I realize I have to get more radishes interplanted. But I have zinnias growing all in here to attract pollinators. These are Thumbelina zinnias. So they end up being like less than 10 inches tall. They're very small. And their flowers are like little tiny buttons. They're adorable. So a bunch of Thumbelina zinnias kind of zigzagging through the squash. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 cantaloupe. That's the Petit Gris de Reniers. And then in between we have radishes. At the end of the bed, we have radishes, lettuce, radishes, lettuce, radishes. The lettuce is not growing great, but the radishes are thriving. So hopefully that just keeps squash vine borers completely out of this bed. It's got so many radishes in this bed. We're going to try out how we like them. So lots of different kinds of radishes too. We got some globe ones, early globes. We got French breakfast, and we got Easter basket ones, which are various different colors. So yeah, that's bed 6. So it's looking really good. I'm really glad I got this trellis up the archway because it's looking really good. So here is the garden as of May 28th.